So, yeah, I just wanted to jump on here and tell everybody that we are finally officially kicked off here. Let me go and move the
Awesome.
camera this way so people can come in here and do events. They can do ticket events. They can rev share on the events. They can build their own worlds. They can import their own worlds. They can do their own scripting. They can run their own voice instances with their real-time instances. So it literally is a platform for a creator and for anybody that wants to put on events. So high five.
High five.
Yeah.
Somebody asked me that the other day. Can you high five in here? And I said, yeah, that's a doable.
Takes some practice.
It does. It does. Maybe what we need is a emoji that says high five.
Well, I think you are the emoji. You just got a high five. High five. High five.
I'd have to find the right emoji. I could do the wave and then you could try to find my hand.
Yeah. The trees move in here. The water moves in here. The avatars move in here. The teapot moves in here.
Well, it's great. I did adventure around here. So. Now, is this a world that people can share and actually come and do events in, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, I can. If someone's interested in using this space, just have them reach out to me. And what they'd have to do is they'd have to load it up on their account, and then they can set up as a live event. And something I learned the other day, and I've actually put in the recording on doing events, but all they got to do is follow the tutorials, and it'll show them how to set up their own events. So first they got to get an account. Must have an account. Once they get their account, then all they have to do is click on my account, and then there'll be a bunch of tabs, and then it'll show the tutorials. And then you just click on the tutorial that, whatever they have interested in, what they're trying to get done, it'll show them step by step.
Well, that's kind of cool. Definitely the simplicity of it is relevant.
Oh, yeah. We've been trying to simplify this for many years.
I know, and now it looks great. It's maneuverability, it's functioning, it's like, wow. And it's really pretty self-explanatory and easy to get in and out of. Doesn't bog down your computer. So many wonderful things that we've got into place right now that, is a work in progress, right?
Yep. Just this. Oh. Got some emotes. You can move your avatar right from your desktop.
Yeah, I got to figure out my camera here. Something happened in the move, and I'm not quite sure what that is, so still kind of working on that.
We'll get that up and running.
Yeah, I miss it.
It's fun, isn't it?
It really is, and it's so simple to use. Again, there we go right back into that. It's simple to use, and you don't have that weight on your head coming from the Oculus.
Yeah, headsets are They're fun,
Yeah.
but when you're using the platform for more than just trying to experience it, sometimes a VR headset uh, might to me, I think it's not that it's a distraction. It just has more immersiveness to it, and if you're not used to being in first person with your avatar inside the headset, you could get a little uh, dizzy and off balance and stuff. So, but
Right.
I love wearing my headset in here. It just puts me into the space. It makes me feel like I'm actually here.
Yeah, we'll have to figure out how to get my Oculus going as well, because we had some issues with its, and I'm not sure why, it needed to sync with my phone.
Yeah. I think when Facebook changed the Meta, they had to do a whole overhaul. So I think you need to reset all your username and passwords for it all to sync up properly, and then you have to download all the right drivers and stuff because it's still PC VR driven, right? So you'll have to have your headset with the cable hooked into your computer to be in space.
Okay. I will probably need your guidance on that. You're so well versed with all of that. And we could probably do a little video on it as well for those that have their Oculus that may not be cooperating.
Yep. That is a tutorial I do need to do because it's been asked for, so I'll put that on the list of things to get done.
Okay. Well, I would love to be your model, shall we say, right?
Yep. Let's see what other what's we got here. Dancing move.
Some dancing moves. I could probably do a dance move. Let me see. Where are my emotes? And oh, I don't like that one.
That one's got you.
There we go. That's always a good one.
Jazz dancing.
Yeah, it sounds more like you're doing kick-ups. So you had mentioned something talking about Elinksys, which is, of course, the platform that we are on. So what exactly did you want to focus on a little bit today?
Well, this has been many months in the making, actually many years in the making on the dev side. But far as the conception of it's been almost 6 months of crunching every single day. The dev's been working diligently with getting everything basics to get this to all run, right? So everything you're seeing here are features that have been added to it. So I think maybe today's focus is just to reflect on where we started and where we're at right now and where we're going. So what I can say is officially today was the last video or last tutorial that we loaded up to complete the whole Elinksys website. So the website's finally complete.
Oh, nice.
Yep. And definitely check it out. Get yourself a free account. Get yourself a Ready Player Me avatar. Load it up into Elinksys, and come join us for the fun. Check it out.
Well,
explore.
I have to say I've talked to a lot of people and shared it, to a lot of people. And once they see the simplicity and the ability of what can happen in here, just, for fun little things like this, it's a nice, small little world. It's just kind of almost like a little personal, where you could actually come in, put on a video, do a meditation. You could actually bring a few people in, right?
Yep.
And maybe share that with them and get them used to checking out what the world is all about.
Absolutely. Yeah,
Yeah, there's always something new going on in here too, which is something I really like. And so
yeah. Well, all I can say is get ready for some great events. We already got some events posted in the events tab, so definitely go check that out. We've already, you know, we've already got some subscribers that are already utilizing the platform for their business. So you might want to check that out. Definitely look at the subscription, see what might work for you. But again, I always say, do not take my word for it. You got to try it yourself.
yes, that is so true. So true.
We can we can talk blue in the face until the cows come home, but until you actually have experienced it for yourself, I really can't. I can't tell someone.
Well, that's true with a lot of
You know.
things. I mean, you can look at pictures, you can look at videos of say Yellowstone or um, the Great White, the Great Pyramid, all these spectacular areas around the world that are breathtaking. However, to actually go experience it, walk on the ground, and and take a look at the beauty and feel it, you don't have the full concept. And that's the same with virtual reality. When you come in here, you can look at this and it looks, I mean, it represents what you've seen. And you can see we have motion going on in here just watching this little video. However, if you were standing here right beside us in a conversation and walking along the beach areas or walking up there, in the sand, you are going to have a completely different experience than watching the actual, movement of what we're doing in here. So
Yeah.
that's I think what you're trying to get across to people, that the experience of being is way different than the experience of just watching, right?
Right. Yeah. It's going back a couple of years, and I do want to. I'm not saying Mark Zuckerberg was the one that was the first one to come up with this, but the metaverse has been around for a long time, right? But he did say something that really hit home and has made a point, right? And it was interesting how COVID hit and how it created new ways of doing business and new ways of remote working, remote learning, all that. But the thing is we were not ready for this. I mean, this still has so much more to develop before it's actually, mainstream, right? And I would say we're only probably at less than 1% of the whole world really understanding how to utilize this type of space, right? And this thing, Beverly, this isn't the only way to do the metaverse. There's so many other ways that you can experience the metaverse, but as far as coining the phrase of metaverse and the purpose for it, I really do think the virtual presence is what the metaverse will do very well, and why people would actually utilize it, right? So you're right there, to my left, or to the viewer's left and my right, looking at you. I feel like I'm actually in your presence when you're actually talking, and I see, your facial expressions and stuff. It gives me that sense of your presence being inside the world. So I do think that, I mean, we're still in the beginning stages of this for how purposeful this will be, but I do believe that this right here is a great entry to it. I think what we're doing here in Alinxis, not to sound salesy or anything, but I do believe that we have put everything, the basics together for someone to actually get that effect of having the virtual presence.
Well, exactly. You know, when you talk about, you know, what people are experiencing here, just in our little conversation, it's very easy and very simple to test the waters, so to speak, and kind of get used to what's going on, because sometimes it can be like totally overwhelming. And what we're looking to do here in Alinxis, which is kind of sets us apart from a lot of the other platforms, is we are making a better space of communication, of collaboration, and building not just communities, but trusted communities of like-minded foot traffic that's going to help build these massive communities, not just only in the virtual reality space, but the ability then to move them out into the brick and mortar world. And when you can start kind of connection in here, it's a lot easier to take it out into the brick and mortar world and make an impact on some of the topsy-turvy, crazy things that are going on, to help bring harmony and balance and peace and unity across the whole globe. And this is a really great place to start. So for me, the mission is to really understand what it means to be in not just a community, but a trusted community, and be able to feel safe, because in here you do feel safe, and I do feel your presence. And we have spent so much time in the virtual reality spaces throughout the last 5 years or so, which there for a while, because we'd come in here at night, because again it gave that peace and that feeling, and we'd world hop and be in conversation. It was at the point where I recognized you as your avatar, which does look like you in real life. And you get used to that, and then all of a sudden we started jumping on some Zooms, and it was like, oh yeah, that's your human body,
Yep.
and so you just kind of have to make that differentiate, so that's the realness when you are in the space, because your brain says, this is a real human, this is Robert right here beside me, this is Beverly right beside you, and in the Zoom it says, oh, you're over there in that square, or okay,
Yep.
I gotta scroll through it. Oh yeah, I know somebody in that square. Where in here, the brain is automatically picking that up, because it recognizes you by your voice, it recognizes you by your facial description, because we encourage a person when they're coming in here is to be that real you, so people can recognize and feel comfortable being around you, and not being some creature from the dark lagoon wondering who's impersonating someone else.
Yeah.
So, and that's the realness of it. So we're not here to take you into a fantasy world. We're here to help you unite with humanity across the globe, and open up lines of communication, and really impact humanity as the wholeness and oneness that we are.
Yep. That's the extended version of virtual presence. But yeah, you're absolutely right. It's I do think there's a purpose for video conferencing solutions, and it has its need, but I do believe that there's also a need for a virtual presence immersive solution too, because it's not just
Right.
us being in the same space with our avatars connecting. There's so much more that this space can offer. Like, I mean, think of like creating a whole digital twin, right? Of like, say, your local area. Say it's a 5 mile radius of your local area, and it's where you do business anyways, right? But imagine it having it in a virtual space like this, where you're still utilizing, you're still being a patron at that business, but you're actually doing it in a more effective and efficient way, where now the business owner has another way to actually provide their goods and services to their local market, right? And it could be put in this space
You know,
right here.
I like that. Yeah. Yeah, so I like what you said, like a 5 mile radius.
Mhm.
So let's just say, for instance, because technology is so wonderful, is you have the area where your grocery store is, maybe where your health food store is, where your favorite restaurant is, yeah, even the gas station, you know. So you got all these different areas. And let's just say you come in here and now you're walking down the block and you walk into that grocery store and you can actually do your shopping in the virtual reality space, which then goes into an order and someone pulls it and delivers it to your door,
Yep.
or you actually drive and go pick it up, whichever the case is. You know, I mean, look how wonderful that could be for someone who might be restricted to home because of an accident or an injury or something like that,
Yep.
where they get things delivered.
Yep.
You know, you could walk into your favorite restaurant and actually join someone there with you to sit in the seating area, but order it and it's delivered to your door, yet you're still in a conversation across the table with someone where you're both enjoying meals in the comfort of your home, but in the visual immersion of the, as twin as that, as you said, in this virtual reality space. And that is really helping to connect others and not feel so isolated, right?
Right. Yeah. That's just one little part of a use case.
Peace. Oh,
And
definitely.
there's so many use. I've always said that eventually what will happen is this space, or this digital space, will be a digital twin that will actually mirror the real world, and then it's going to be where it's the Internet of Things, basically, where if you turn on the light switch in your virtual home, it actually controls the light switch in your real home. You go to the supermarket in your digital supermarket, it connects to the real world supermarket down the road. So you can still get best of both worlds. It just, now you're being able to experience it the same way, in a way that you would do in the real world. So it's like, I just think this is a better way when there's so much
Well,
more.
I like it for the time that we save,
Right.
Robert.
Well-
When you're coming in, especially maybe not necessarily going down the street type of thing, but let's use another instance, like, you know, people travel and you travel for business, you travel for conventions, you travel for, you know, fun things and stuff like that. Well, look at the time element that could be saved if you do an event in here, like a trade show, convention, and you're still interacting with people, but now you're going to be able to interact with people from a far distance. When the show ends for the day, if you met somebody during that event, you could actually stay, because if I need to leave, I can leave and you're still here enjoying the world, where this is what happens in that virtual reality space. So you're able to stay and interact and have more control of the time that you spend in here, and when you leave and when you stay and who you talk with and
Yeah.
things like that. But the time element, time is something you never get back. You can always get the money back. However, a lot of people would love to go to some of these in real world brick and mortar events, but it's the extended cost, not the cost of the event, the time and the airfare, the hotels, the food eating out, the rentals, the taxis. That's where the cost gets overwhelming, And then the time and the stress sometimes, especially sitting in airports, if you haven't done that in a while, and if you're going into a big city where you're not familiar with it, that can be a lot of stress. And then you're worrying about are the kids okay because you had to get a babysitter for the weekend. You know, all these little things that a lot of people don't think about that, but we as moms think about those types of things. So if you were to be able to attend that and enjoy, that gives you a feeling of that connectedness as well. And then the excess time that you have left over and all the monies that you save, you can actually take your family or go with friends and jump in the car or jump in a camper trailer or whatever it is and take a nice, comfortable vacation with those that you love, because now you have the time and the money to do that. And that's what we're looking to do here in these communities that we're looking to build and really connect people again in a manner that has gotten lost over the ages, has, with technology. I mean, we've all seen it happen where even 2-year-olds have their faces in tablets and phones, and so it's a separation. In here, it reconnects and reunites because you're actually there, and it's a fun thing to do.
Yep. Yeah, it's definitely another way, and I do believe if the majority of the world understood how to utilize this, I think when COVID hit, and again, I'm not using it as a crutch, but I do think that our education would have been at a whole nother level. It might even surpassed where we're at with going to normal brick and mortar, classrooms and stuff. This could have really catapulted our education system to another level, where the teachers could actually show and demonstrate how things work versus reading out a textbook or watching a video that the kids are just going to sleep on. They could actually experience it. The teacher could say, hey, let's go see an atom, and drop a portal, and boom, they would be in the quantum realm seeing how an atom works and stuff. Now, I gotta say, if I would have had that as a kid, I would have been totally I'd be like, show me more. Let me see what else you got here.
I'm still in that. Show me what it looks like, because, and like you say, in here, it's not just that you're seeing it like watching a movie. You're experiencing it because you're right there watching that atom get crushed or whatever the case is, and walking around inside of it and seeing all the little electrons in there and photons, and it's crazy. But it's so true, and being able to dive in the ocean and because out here, if we had it built in that, you could dive in the ocean, say here, go down, maybe see the reef, maybe see a few sharks or a couple whales or some seahorses, some tortoises. There's so many adventures that you can have in here. And so when you can incorporate all of your senses in learning, it changes the world. And that's one thing. It has been proven scientific. Being in the virtual reality space, learning, even if it's just a conversation like this, your ability to retain and recall, because that learning increases, sometimes upwards of 70%, which is huge. Yeah. And when you're training, like a lot of corporations, that have warehouses where they've got machinery and people walking around, and a lot of stuff up on shelves, there's a lot of danger that can happen in those places. When the training is done in a space like this, their reaction time is way faster, and so they're discovering that they have less accidents where people are getting hurt because they're being able to respond faster, and their awareness of the environment increases to keep them out of that line of danger, so to speak. So the advantages, we could go on here for days and days.
All the use cases.
All I can say is just jump in, experience it for yourself, and we're giving you the opportunity to experience on a very basic level and then move to heights that are totally unreachable, because you think you reach the top, you can go further and further and further. And that's what we're looking to do. So
Yeah.
let us help you get started and check this out and experience it. And you know what? Don't do it alone. Bring a friend.
Yeah. Share it with others and let them experience it well, because that's how
It's a lot more fun being in here with someone else than it is by your little old
yeah, it
lonesome
is.
self.
Yeah. Being in here by yourself, like thinking, okay, where's everybody? Is there anybody over there? Or over that way?
Exactly. Exactly.
Cool. Well, I did start I guess it's a podcast. They call it as podcast. I don't know what this is called. I mean, we're not really well, we are videotaping ourselves, but we're inside the space here. Maybe this is called a VCast or V podcast or virtual podcast.
It's called a conversation
There
with a
you go.
friend.
There you go. So
There you go.
we're gonna do more of these. Like I said before, we're gonna start doing some having guests in here and having other avatars and stuff like that, just to have conversations. It's not just to come in here and play around and just waste time. We really want to make sure people are getting value with being inside the space here. So if you have something to say,
Exactly.
if you have a story, if you have something of, I always say value, but if it's very intrinsic and it means a lot to you, then it probably means a lot to someone else. So let's share that. So definitely come inside, check it out. And with that being said, Beverly, any last words?
The only last words I can say is just be a Nike and do it.
You heard it, folks. Just do it. We'll see you soon. Everybody have a great day. Bye now.
Bye.